Well, at least I predicted the score right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Time to review the game that's just ended a few moments ago. Celtic going to the Allianz Arena, obviously tonight, the third match day of the Champions League group stage, suffering a 3-0 defeat at the Allianz. Quite expected, to be honest. I feel like a lot of fans did fill themselves up with a lot of optimism, which is not always a bad thing, but it was harsh reality that it was going to be a tough game for Celtic. It was going to be a game where we were going to struggle to walk away with the result, and tonight we did struggle to walk away with the result. We really did struggle at times in this game, and at times it was really difficult to watch. And there's two routes that you can really go down this match in my eyes, and two routes, and I don't know what route I feel like going down, because I'm looking at it and I did predict 3-0, so part of me is not surprised, but I'm surprised at the things we did wrong, and the things that we did wrong really pissed me off. So these two routes, you can go down the route of the kind of sympathetic view. Oh, it was Bayern Munich. You know, we should be expecting that. It was 3-0. Bayern Munich. What can we do at the end of the day? But you can also go down the route of there was spineless efforts at certain things in that match, and it was really easy to piss the fans off. Really easy to piss me off. The things that we did do wrong. And there's one tweet that came up, and if you're watching the video, you'll know who it was tweeting it. So thank you. One thing that really did sum up how I feel. It's like when it comes to the Champions League games, we forget how to do the simple things. The simple things, it seems to be the hardest thing for Celtic to do. Passing, stringing two passes together, it becomes so difficult. Defending, the basics, went out the window tonight in the first half, and I feel like there was a real difference between the first half performance, the second half performance, which we all come on to, but the basics of defending seem to have been forgotten from half the team. Gamboa, Lustig at times, Boyata, they seem to be gone. And they were clueless, they were lost and amongst it. And obviously there's players they're going up against there. Robin, who's aged 35 and still playing like one of the best in the world. Lewandowski, who's the best striker in the world. And Kingsley Coman, who is a terrific player. Three players you're obviously going to struggle against, but you should be able to get the basics right, the simple things right. And it seemed to all go out the window for Celtic. A lot of it seemed to be gone, which was pretty annoying. And you look at the 3 goals, how we conceded them, and especially with the third one in the second half, so easily preventable. The fact that Hummels won a header with such ease, there was no competition for him in the air, there was no strength put upon him, no pressure, they won the header so easily, and it's those things that are easy to piss the fans off, and you spot it and you think to yourself, doesn't matter who you're playing against, the basics have got to be there. And it seemed that in the first half, and we'll focus on the first half for now, the first half, it seemed that there was spineless efforts at points. We were doing everything wrong, nothing was going away, and it was embarrassing at points. It was hard to watch, and it could have been a thrubbing. It could have been even more than 2 goals in the first half. We were lucky to get away with one. They could have arguably had a penalty with a shot pull. They should have scored them, as I'm saying, they should have scored one. There should have been 3-0 in the first half, but we got away with it. It could have been a lot worse than what it actually was in the first half. The first half performance was incredibly poor. Second half we started much the same. You know, there was a lot of problems. The basics once again out the window for us to start the second half, but we did really pick it up in the second half. We did pick up a bit, and it got a little less difficult to watch. Things picked up a lot more. We made the changes, and I feel there were a lot of positive changes. And Dembele came on, Forrest came on, and who was the final sub? Rogic all came on. The game did change, and I don't know if that was more of an aspect of Bayern laying off a bit or us getting into the game a bit more, but we did seem to create a lot more chances. We were getting forward a lot more comfortable with the ball. But it all just came down to the carelessness of how we conceded tonight, which did cost us a chance of taking some more positives from the game. But I think we will look back and we'll look on these mistakes, and it will make us look at, you know, the players and give them such a negative reaction that, to the extent that people on Twitter are actually calling for players to get out, which I feel is a bit harsh. A lot of people tweeting tonight, Lustig, get rid of him, Craig Gordon, get rid of him, Armstrong, I seen, get rid of him. You think to yourself, right, calm down, one performance, hopefully things pick up, but there is a real signal that the investment has to be there. And it's this point where I do firmly believe I'm on the side of the investment has to be there. And I were playing with a makeshift defence, but the investment's got to be in there to bring in more quality. We need those dominating players that we had in the early 2000s who can defend and get the basics right if we want to go further and challenge these teams. And there is a gulf. In 2017 football, there is a massive gulf. But, you know, you've got to do something out in the pitch. You've got to get the basics right, first of all. And by getting the basics right, we've got to go out and make the signings to do that. So there has got to be investment there. There has. But the second half, I will admit, a lot picked up. A lot picked up the second half performance. A few players did finally step into the game. Dembele come on. I feel like Dembele should have started the game, and I feel like he brought a lot more to the table than what Griffiths could. Griffiths was going to have no chance up against Hummels and Boateng. Obviously Griffiths likes to get in behind defenders, but these are two defenders who are going to take a lot to be caught off guard, to be caught sleeping. I mean, Lustig was caught sleeping poorly in the first half, and it was so frustrating to look upon. And it was hard to defend him. It's hard to defend Lustig in that sort of situation. I know he's up against the best striker in the world, but the way he was scunnered, the way he was scanted, that's the best way to put it, by Lewandowski, was questionable. And I know he's the best striker in the world, but it's true, it was questionable. He got through him so easily on a couple of occasions. But Griffiths, it's not the type of game he's going to easily get in behind two of the best centre-backs in the world. So I thought Dembele, the physicality he brings to the table, would have been suited a lot more to this game. And I thought that was shown when he came on the park. And he didn't have a lot of opportunities. I think he only had 2 or 3 chances on the ball that kind of stood out. But I feel like he did bring something that Griffiths didn't bring in the first half at all. Griffiths never seemed to be with the ball, never seemed to have an opportunity, never seemed to be doing anything. It just wasn't a game suited to him. Whereas Dembele came on, he created a chance for Sinclair, which I can't remember how it resulted, but he got by the defender anyway. Well done. He took the defenders on. Forrest came on, he took the defenders on. I feel the changes did bring a lot of positivity and a lot of resurgence into the second half that was needed. But not much else to say. Defence, questionable. We need to get the basics right. We need to stop being so vulnerable. We need some aggression. We need some confidence in the team. Unnerve them. Shake them up a wee bit. Make them feel like they're actually playing a threat and they're not playing amateurs, because at points Bayern Munich made us look like amateurs, and that is no question. They made us look like amateurs at points, and it was embarrassing. And 3-0, we got off light. I would take 3-0 if you said before the game to me 3-0 will finish. I would have been happy with that, because that's what I said in my preview. I said, you know what, it's not an embarrassment. 3-0 is a scoreline which is reasonable against a team like Bayern Munich, but when you look at the goals we conceded, easily preventable. So hopefully we fix it up for playing them against at Parkhead, but we'll see how it goes. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe. You may not agree with me, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know who you thought the man of the match was for Celtic. For me, not much of a standout performance from anyone. Obviously, I mean, you look at the score and there's not going to be a standout performance. Roberts was taking on the player the first half. He was the only player who turned up in the first half for me. The only player that looked as though he had confidence in the ball. So I'm going to give it to Roberts for that. So let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.